A great day to be here at the Mississippi State Coliseum. It's a great opportunity to get to hear all the candidates. And, when I walked, hey, Mark Lewis. When I walked in, I've never seen it look so good. This flag behind me, is that not just awesome? And the banners. And, I've told everybody, go to the restrooms because we put brand new restrooms in here and they're pretty awesome too. But I am honored to be with you, and I want to talk to you about some of the things that we have been doing. I have been honored to be your Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce for the last 4 years. Prior to that, of course, I spent 12 years in the State Senate, 8 of those being chairman of the Agriculture Committee down there, which some of my best days. I really miss the Senate, but I certainly like what I'm doing now. I just want to cover a few things for you. As most of you know, we are a regulatory agency. We have a lot of regulatory responsibilities. And as a senator, I had a notebook from lessons learned from Katrina. Part of our job is to make sure we inspect the petroleum and the gas stations and the grocery stores and these throughout the state, including these small areas. When I got elected and had been through Katrina and realized there was no GPS locations for these gas stores, for these grocery stores that were so important after disaster, we established 5,700 GPS locations to pinpoint where all of them were, because after a storm, when there's no road signs, we need to get out there and make sure the Department of Agriculture is doing their job by getting these stores back open, by getting the gas pumps running again. We've implemented an e-commerce system so businesses can purchase their permits and licenses online 24/7. I go to these out-of-state meetings and they said, thank you so much for making that so much easier for all of the companies that have to register through the Bureau of Plant Industry, seed, feed, fertilizers, all those companies, to make it so much easier. We pretty much live by these things now. We have mobile apps that will connect the public with agencies offering services, the apps that you can download on your phone. This very building right now, which looks so good today, is also where we're getting ready to host the Dixie National Rodeo, the biggest rodeo east of the Mississippi. The sponsors of the National Rodeo we're being viewed live stream now. We've gone live. Wrangler Network, which doubled our viewership for the rodeo. We had about 6,500 in-house that night. We had almost that many watching online. Some of the things in the progression that we've done through the technology that's at our expense. 38% increase in certified farmers markets since I've been your commissioner. We've increased markets and revenues through farm-to-school programs. We have more farmers growing directly for our school children than we ever have. We've partnered with the Mississippi Farm Bureau for the Federation to showcase the farm families of Mississippi. I don't know how many of you have seen those commercials, but that's my favorite thing, is to tout the great farmers we have in Mississippi. Money well spent to get our message out. We have a 59% increase in farmer participation in Mississippi Farmers Market since 2012. That's 59% increase. We're out there making jobs, expanding the markets for our farmers. Most of you are familiar with the UAVs, the drones. If you've seen my commercial, you will see a drone flying in there. 80% of the use of drones is being predicted in agriculture. We've got a program out at Hines Community College that is teaching these students how to operate these UAVs. Great jobs coming just right there. Talked to a young guy that had actually been in Afghanistan operating a drone, was making over 6 digits. Great promises there. I've always said that I'm scared of 2 things, and that's snake and my mama. There's one other thing that is on my list right now that I want to talk to you about, that you'll be reading a lot about. That is the avian influenza, the bird flu. It's affected 21 states so far. The hardest hit has been Minnesota and Iowa. There have been 48 million birds euthanized at a cost of over $300 million. As the ducks fly south on the Mississippi Flyway, that increases our chance of an outbreak of avian influenza, the possible outbreak. The heat kills that virus. The cooler weather spreads that virus. If the ducks land and bring that outbreak to us, it could literally be a catastrophe for poultry in Mississippi. Humans are not affected, let me get that straight. But if we were to have a positive case of outbreak of avian influenza, I just want to assure you that the Department of Agriculture, the Animal Board of Health, the federal and state agencies, we are doing everything we can to be prepared for that. You know, we're not a turkey state. We don't grow turkeys here, but the states that do have been heavily impacted by this. So I suggest if you don't have your Thanksgiving turkey, you go ahead and get it. The second thing that concerns me is the growing population that we have and the challenges we have of feeding this world. You know, in 1950, we had about 2.5 billion people. A lot of them were farmers. Most people had gardens. In 2005, we had 6.5 billion. Today, we have 7 billion people in this world. If the projections are correct, by 2050, we could be looking at feeding 10 billion people. That's a challenge, folks. That's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of science. It's going to take a lot of technology to meet that goal. I want you to hear this. If we stopped all ag productions right now, shut down all ag operations, we would have enough food to feed this country for 30 days if we shut it down right now. So this is a vital goal that we have, that we can reach, but it is one of the concerns that I have. One of the other concerns I have is the production agriculture. There's groups out there that think they have a better idea of how to farm than those of us who actually do it. They don't want you to dehorn their cattle. They don't want you to vaccinate in many circumstances. They don't want any animal slaughtered. I assure you, you've got a Commissioner of Agriculture right now that will stand in that gap of protecting agriculture. You've got a Commissioner of Commerce right now that will do everything she can, legislatively, whatever it takes, to make sure we continue to provide the atmosphere that these farmers can cultivate and have that safe, affordable food on your table. Can you imagine going to a 4-day school week because of the lack of food or the food supply? You know, a country that cannot feed itself is certainly not a secure country at all. I have been honored and privileged to serve as your commissioner. I think that we have made great strides in many aspects. The fairgrounds that we're on right now, I think that we had a fantastic state fair this year. Our attendance was down some. We had some issues that I think we dealt with in a positive way. But I am honored to be that person to stand in the gap, along with my partners, Farm Bureau, the Cattlemen's Association, the Mississippi Poultry Association. You know, today we're about to eat some great fried catfish. I think Simmons Catfish has provided. In 2008, I had the opportunity to carry the water on the country of origin labeling bill for catfish that says if you're going to serve catfish in Mississippi, you're going to tell us where it came from. So you go in these restaurants now and it's got that placard that says, "We proudly serve U.S. farm-raised catfish." That's part of the security that I'm talking about. So I want you to enjoy your day. I want you to enjoy your meal. And as always, before you sit down, 3 times a day, as most of us do, first thank God, then thank a farmer. Appreciate you.